Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Just stepping away from Scottish politics up one level to national politics, to the whole of the UK. Because there is a poll today released, which I'm going to be honest and say you'd have to take with a pinch of salt. Because the numbers in it are so astonishing that I find it barely credible. However, if it were to happen, I don't think I'd be too surprised. Does that kind of... It seems a bit a bit of a dichotomy there, that I think it's unlikely, but I wouldn't be surprised. But that's where I am with the numbers that are being quoted. The reason is, it's not that I think that Labour are doing well. I think it's the Tories are doing so badly, and I think reform is going to absolutely crush any kind of Tory hopes, because people are fed up with the Tories. Even their own members have had enough, because what's happening at Parliament is basically blue socialism. There's no real Tory values, or very few Tory values left within the Tory Party. And so people are looking for an alternative. And reform seems to be the alternative. But we're going to go through this quickly because, honestly, the numbers in this poll will blow your mind. Here goes. So, Rishi Sunak leading Tories to Armageddon as new poll gives Labour 500 seats. Now, I'm going to call this Torygeddon because it is worse than you can possibly imagine. And this will be recreated across the whole of the UK. There is not one area of Britain where this isn't going to affect massively. This goes to show how utterly destroyed the Tory Party is under Rishi Sunak. Remember, no one in the country voted for Rishi Sunak. No one in the party voted for Rishi Sunak. The only reason we've got Rishi Sunak is because of the MPs at Westminster. This shouldn't have been allowed. The Tory party should have gone back and said, no, there must be a minimum of 2 candidates and you must elect them. This cannot be allowed to happen because this is absolutely destructive. Rishi is finished. If this is even... Now, obviously, you've got to take this with a massive pinch of salt. But if this is anywhere close, he's finished. As crucial local elections campaigns get underway, the Tories have had their worst poll ever from Techni UK under Rishi Sunak's leadership. It's their worst poll ever when you see these numbers. A senior Tory has warned that the party is heading to Armageddon under Rishi Sunak's leadership, as the latest tracker poll from Techni UK sets a new low under his leadership. If this is right, and you'll see the numbers in a moment, if this is right, the Tories will be the third party in Britain. With local elections just a month away, Labour's already massive lead has increased by a further 2 points in the last week to 23 points, with Sir Keir Starmer's party on 45%, up 1. Tories on 22%, down 1. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to lose 1% of your seats, or because it doesn't work like that. It's the first past the post system. It's horrific. In even worse news for Mr Sunak, Reform UK's vote is up to its highest level yet in a Techni UK survey to 13%, making it clearly the third party in British politics in terms of voter support. The survey of 1,638 voters put the Lib Dems on their lowest share for a year on just 9%, down 1, while the Greens stayed the same on 5%. The continued increase in the vote share for Reform comes after the defection of Lee Anderson to the party after he was suspended from the Tories following allegations that comments he made about Labour Mayor Sadiq Khan were Islamophobic. They were not. You cannot have a phobia against the truth. and they were not Islamophobic, and Islamophobic doesn't even exist. It was a word made up because very weak, tiny little men like Sadiq Khan feel threatened when the truth is put to them. Tory MPs, some of whom were at Nigel Farage's 60th birthday last night, are speculating that if Farage decides to run for reform, their vote will increase even further and take even more Tory voters away. One senior Conservative MP described meeting a couple in their constituency who had been lifelong Tory voters. The MP said, "They told me, sorry, we think you're a very good MP, but we are not voting for you." I asked them, why not? And they replied, because we don't like Rishi Sunak and we don't think your party is Conservative anymore. The MP added, that sort of thing is happening more and more, and with colleagues as well. Another Tory spoke of the despair in the party among MPs and grassroots supporters, adding, we're heading for Armageddon. Well, you've only got yourselves to blame. You've all these Tory MPs sitting on the back benches thinking we're all going to be unemployed. Look forward, look down to your own front bench, look to the tiny little brown dwarf that you put in charge and blame yourselves. This wasn't your membership. Your membership rejected him. Your membership of the Tory Party said, no, we do not want Rishi Sunak. You chose him. You are making yourselves unemployed. And it's damn good. Maybe next time you'll think harder before imposing upon this nation a man who could not even garner support within his own damn party. Here's the table if the voting intentions go through. And as you see, Conservatives, predicted seats, 55. 55 seats. And that's as it is. If Farage stands, that'll fall. And the Conservatives can become the third party of British politics. They are the oldest political party in the world, but they do not have any God-given right to exist. And when they do the things they're doing, then they suffer the consequences. And it is wonderful to see. Among 2019 Tory voters who gave the party an 80-seat majority, because Boris Johnson, that's it, they voted. They didn't vote Tory, they voted for Boris. Only 41% would still vote for the party, and 17 have switched to Reform, while 12 will not vote, and another 12 are uncertain. According to electoral calculus, if this result was a general election, then the Tories would reduce to just 55 seats, about a third of their worst ever result in 1906, when they won 156. Meanwhile, Labour would win 500 seats, giving them a record majority of 350. And possibly more. And this is the thing, it doesn't take much. Techni Chief Executive Michael Marizzo said, just when we thought things could not get any worse for Rishi Sunak's Conservatives, our latest tracker poll heaps even greater problems on the Prime Minister. Labour's absolutely dominant polling lead grows even further, rising 1 point of national vote to share 45% of the vote. And at the same time, our poll shows the Conservatives dropping a point down to 22. If this significant Labour lead of 23 points over the Conservatives wasn't bad enough, Reform grow another point in the national vote shares to their biggest polling percentage ever. And as I say, if Farage says yes, he will stand, that will grow. The Tories could be finished. The Tories could be wiped off the political map. Fewer than 55? Fewer than 40 if Farage stands. They'd have fewer than the Lib Dems. It's horrific, isn't it? They'd be on a par with Plaid Cymru. Such a dramatic set of polling results, if delivered at a general election, would see the Conservatives almost decimated, with Labour having a truly significant working majority. And I guarantee that that would definitely put Keir Starmer into number 10 for a week, and then there'd be the coup d'etat, he'd be gone, and Angela Rayner would be your next Labour leader with a massive majority. She could do what she wants, and there would be no opposition. And the thing is, there'd be no opposition in committees or in, hearings, anything, lobbies, nothing. It would be a one-party monolithic state, and that cannot be good for democracy. But it does teach the Tories a lesson. Return to Tory values and don't pick horrible, miserable dwarves to be leader against the wishes of the people, and especially the wishes of your own party. Coming up, I'm going to make a prediction that this poll, the poll we had earlier in the week, next couple of polls, are all going to be pretty bad for the Tories, and I think that this will lead the backbenchers into a revolt. Apparently, there is only one more letter of no confidence needed, allegedly. And then the 1922 committee would call a leadership challenge. At that point, of course, Sunak would have to go to the people, other than trying to save, because otherwise, if it's a last roll of the dice, if you like, because if he doesn't, he would lose an election for leadership. So the only thing that will save him is to go to the country. He's going to lose that anyway, but he may as well say, right, I'll take it and I'll sod all of you and go. That's all there is for him. So I will expect to see an election called very, very soon now. Stunning numbers. Not a single Conservative in Wales or Scotland. And only 55 in the whole of England. And that's before Farage stands. Bad, isn't it? Fuck around and find out. It's a saying. Well, the Tories have done that, and now they're finding out. Thanks very much for watching. Do hope that's been interesting. I do hope it's been entertaining. It's not necessarily good if you're a Tory voter, but at least you know that change will now happen, regardless. The only way is up. Till next time, bye.